They didn't. I don't even think they was hurt like KD and Steph is. I mean, KD got the calf. Then he got something wrong with his forehead or whatever. Then it was just it just seemed like something happens with them. And maybe it's just bad luck or whatever it is. But health is going to be very important, and that just worries me down the road if this foot thing catches up with Steph. But right now he's beating it. I mean, he was averaging when he came back from his injury, he was averaging 35 points. The man was balling. So, but I think the Warriors could be, but I'm not going to put them there. I'm not going to, try and predict the future or say, what they are. Right now, they are not. They have a chance, but they are not. They are a good team. They will be remembered in history for what they've done. They won two championships in 3 years, and they've been to the final 3 years in a row. So that is an accomplishment in itself, but not dynasty. Not dynasty. Now, speaking of dynasty, we will roll into a team that is a dynasty, and that is the New England Patriots. Patriots, obviously last week was in the news. ESPN ran a report about how the Patriots were going to be coming unraveled from the inside out. And I was speaking on this and I read this report and I was talking about how interesting it was. There was a lot of stuff in there, that kind of made sense. But as in any other Patriot way, I said they will come out this week because the media was waiting on them and they already had a prepared statement. And basically it was, we're on to the Titans. And they kept the message. And I'm not surprised, by that message. Because the task that's at hand right now is beating the Titans. They understand that, and they can put it to the side and say, you know what? This is my just personal opinion. I think they can put that to the side and say, look, we just got to beat the Titans. We last thing we need is to lose to the Titans and got this other situation. Because then now it just blows everything up. And we're just trying to win. We can argue later. We can be mad. We can do all that stuff. We can do that later. But right now, we just need to beat the Titans. And it's almost too, even if they hate each other, I think they hate everyone else more. So it's just like, I'm not going to give you guys what you want, even though I'm mad at this person, or maybe even though this person is on, my bad side right now. So everything's going to be tight-lipped, as always, but probably even tighter. Nothing better come out in the next week, 2, 3 weeks. If they get to the Super Bowl, nothing better come out at that point because somebody's going to have hell to pay. But I do believe pieces of this story. Powerful guys like that, and Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and Robert Kraft, at some point will clash. And at some point, just won't see eye to eye on everything. That's natural. I applaud them for being able to keep it together this long. Look what happened to Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson. They're winning Super Bowls. And they still couldn't coexist with each other. They won 3 or 2, I'm sorry, because Barry Switzer came in and won the third one. So Jimmy Johnson won 2. Jimmy Johnson took that franchise. They were 1-15. I think his first year when they got there, and he turned them into back-to-back Super Bowl champions. And him and Jerry Jones couldn't coexist. Now they're more vocal and more public than how Kraft and Belichick and Brady is. But it happened. And I just think it's going to happen. So, Patriots way. That's what it's going to be for the rest of the season. And I think we will find out more after their season is over. Things will develop a little bit more. Now, Belichick said he was already coming back for 2018. I don't know why he would leave, anyway. It's just like, you're going to have to push me out, because obviously Tom is going to be here another year. We're not going to move on from him now that Jimmy G is gone. So, heck yeah, I'm going to stay here, and try it one more time, especially if I win this championship. I ain't going nowhere. That'll be, what, six championships for Belichick as a head coach. And I bring up 6 because it moves me into my next topic. He's trying to catch his boy. Yep, Nick Saban pulled it out. Alabama did it once again. Got the W, got the chip in a very close game against the Georgia Bulldogs. We all know 26-23 into overtime. What can you say or not say, or what can be said about this game? Very entertaining game. Started out, it looked like Georgia was going to not blow them out or anything like that, but it looked like Georgia was going to have control of the situation. They kept Jalen Hurts in check the whole first half. And basically, I would say at this point, maybe Georgia got what they wanted. Well, no, I'll say they didn't. They wanted Jalen to stay in there, but they wanted Jalen to struggle, and he struggled. But Nick Saban said, you know what? We got to make a change. And they went to this kid, and I'm not going to destroy his last name, but Tua. Just true freshman, put him in the game. And what did this dude do? 3 touchdowns. Well, I think 116 yards passing. And part of that 3 was a rifle. I'm talking about a clap, clap. He cocked that thing and shot it out of a cannon to win the championship in overtime. Georgia didn't have a plan for that. I think they might have expected to see him. But it was a tale of 2 halves. Obviously. Nick Saban, they went in at halftime and they made the necessary adjustments. And the necessary adjustments was, Jalen Hurts, you got to sit down. Tua, strap up, and get in there. Like I said, they had shut Alabama out. Their defense, which I had talked about defense, I had Georgia winning this game. I had it winning close, and it looked like they were going to do it too, especially when they kicked what is my guy's name? The kicker for Georgia, Blankenship. But especially when Blankenship kicked that field goal, it was just like one more stop, and they can either just tie it up with a field goal and then they'll score a touchdown on the next one. Because that's basically what Georgia had been doing, all season. Is pulling out the wins when they need to pull them out. And they were getting them the way that they need to get them, however way they needed, whether it was a run, whether it was a pass or anything like that. I just thought that's how it was going to go. And it did not work out that way. Part of that was the Alabama kicker. He helped them. He helped Georgia out. He missed a field goal early. Well, he made one. And they had a penalty where he had to re-kick, and he missed it, Then going into the end of regulation, he got a gimme, and the pressure got to him, obviously. And I think, and I don't know if people were watching this at this point, but when he was getting ready to kick his field goal, he was getting ready to run out there. And for whatever reason, he said, let me just kick one more time into the net, into the practice net. And it went over there, and there was a guy. I don't know who that guy was, but he was on his knee, already covering his eyes. And I'm thinking, like, why are you doing this right in front of the kicker? He don't need to see that. And I said, he's going to miss this field goal. And true enough, he did. I don't know if the kicker saw that and maybe he was just like, dang, is he just that nervous? Or he just saying he don't believe in me? But we got a good game. I know it did not end the way Georgia wanted it to. It was a heartbreaker. It was a heartbreaker for just the state of Georgia in general. For the past 12 months, they've been let down. So I understand that being a Falcons fan, but it is what it is. They had the lead. They could not hold on to the lead, and they let this freshman come in and give them the business. 14 for 24, 166 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And you got to give the kid credit as well because he threw an interception when he first got in there. But then when they went into overtime, his first play, he takes a sack where it was like a loss of maybe 10 to 15 yards. And it's just like, no. And like Saban head exploded. And you just thought, this is how it's going to end. This is how it's going to end for Alabama. He made the mistake. They're going to make him pay. And that kid came right back as if, and he probably didn't. He didn't even remember the last play and shot that thing out of a cannon. Shouts out to Tiffany Sports and Hills who jumped into the chat room. Appreciate you for joining in here, ma'am. But now, Georgia goes and they basically play what if, But they have made progress. I will say this about Georgia. From Kirby getting in there, the first year to the second year, putting them in the national championship. I know it sounds like another coach here in Georgia, but it is progress, Georgia. So just keep your head up. Keep your head up. It's going to be all right. It's going to hurt a little bit, trust, but Saban, man, what can you say about this dude, man? 6. He got 6 himself, but Alabama got 5 in the last 9 years, man. That's a dynasty, too. Since we were talking about dynasties. Just the school itself. 9 years. That means the past 9 years, anyone that has rolled through that campus on that football team, unless you got kicked off the team or something like that, you have not rolled out of there without walking away with some shine on your finger. That is amazing. Amazing. So we're going to stay in college sports and we're going to move on to an update. Now, I had talked with y'all about way back, way before the college basketball season started, about how the FBI, yes, the FBI, and they're probably listening to this now because I said FBI. And if you are, you listen to the Wait a Minute show with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. We talked about how the FBI made this raid about all these, coaches that was receiving improper benefits and, they got the kids, going to schools that, were kind of, like, wait a minute, how did they get this kid, and everything. So probably the biggest kid out of all of them was a kid called Brian Bowen. He was a McDonald's All-American. He was a 5-star, player. And he went to Louisville and he committed. And all this thing went down with the FBI because the rumor is that, hey, they were funneling money, into this kid. His parent, his father, and now, he's not necessarily the scapegoat, but he is kind of because he never got to play for the team. He's off the team, and now he's looking for a team to play for, and he found the team. So he's headed to the University of South Carolina. He's seeking a reinstatement. Looked like he will play next season. Obviously not this season for all the situations everything that went down. But it seems like he's going to find a school that's willing to take on, a little baggage that he has coming with him. And then he gets the chance to play basketball. So I say all this is because throughout this whole situation, yes, it looks like people did get fired, but it looks like people may be going to jail, and all this. But at the end of the day, this kid right here, to me, got caught up in the middle of it. Now, they might have went to the kid and said, we'll give you some money, or he'd be like, heck yeah, I need some money or whatever. But again, this goes to, he's the kid. He shouldn't be the one with the common sense when it comes to this. This is the